Welcome back to S&S Outdoors. Today I got a new beaver trapping spot. A guy called, said he had a beaver problem. They've been chewing a lot of these white oaks up. Right here we're going to go ahead and set a 330 in this run. We found 3 good runs, brought 3 traps, so it worked out good. I'm going to chop a hole, slide this trap in, and move to the next one. You can see how thin that ice is. That tells us that there's been some beaver going in and out, because you get out on the middle of the lake and it's just probably 8 inches thick. So body heat keeps that thawed out. And then you can see this is a pretty deep run, not real deep but pretty wide. We've been using it to come in and out of the water. We've got an exit hole up there. And once you do that, you want to be very, very careful. These are dangerous traps, especially if a guy was ever by himself. Okay, the one thing about this set I really don't care about is the water's not deep enough, so my spring's kind of hanging a little out if it was to freeze up tonight. We're hoping it don't get too cold and the ice will stay thin and it'll still fire. Take our chain down. And there's our first set. We're going to move across the water here. It's probably 15 yards away, a really hot hole, so we're going to move over there and set up. Okay, so I moved across the pond here. Like I said, it's not very far apart, but you can see this run, there's no ice at all. I mean, it's definitely a hot run. We'll go ahead and get this 330 set. I always like to use my setters if it's just me. A little bit more safety. One thing, you want to make sure you take these off. If you don't, you'll wish you did the next day. Slide my stick through the spring. This run's pretty wide. It's about 2.5 feet wide. So what I'm going to try to do is set the trap up as close as I can in the hole so you've got no way around it. Take it down. And that's it. We're going to go around the pond to one more spot and set our last trap. Okay, we're at set number 3. Underneath this log, he's got a pretty good run. We noticed a lot of bubbles. Then the other day, it looks like he broke the ice, kind of trying to go out on there. He's got some slides coming down this hill. He's blocked off a few holes. Keep the other critters out. I'm going to break down through this ice and set this 330. As you can see, this water is pretty deep here, but if I was to go about 3 feet over, it's only about 1 foot deep. That's how much they've dug out of here for their run. See there, I just about forgot to take my safeties off. You usually want to wait till you get it in the hole, but Since this is about 2.5 feet down, I don't want to have to reach down in the water. Get that chunk of ice out of there. Like a dummy, I forgot to wear my water gloves today. And that's this set. We're going to go ahead and check the rest of the pond for any other critter signs. Talk to the landowner if we find any. Maybe get a chance to set some more critter sets. But until then, we'll see you tomorrow when we check them. Alright, welcome back, guys. This is the first day checking traps out here on this new lake. Looks like we've got a beaver in this trap. I'm going to bust the ice and see how big he is. It got pretty cold last night. I think they said 0 was the temperature. As you can see, that ice is pretty hard. I want to make sure I don't tear any fur when I'm breaking this ice. It'd be real easy to do. There's beaver number 1 of the day. Looks like a young kid, but that means there's probably a big colony in here. So we're gonna go check our other ones, come back and set this one. We brought another 7 traps with us today because after we got here yesterday, we noticed there's a lot of beaver in here. So stay with us. We're gonna go over to the next run. Well, I made it over to the other trap. Beaver number 2. So far, 2 for 2 today. We got one more to check. I'm gonna bust him out, see how big he is. You can see that ice there is pretty thin. I'm wondering if maybe the other beaver were swimming under him. We'll set the trap after we get him out. Hopefully they're still using it. Yeah, they're for sure still using this run. Now that there is a much bigger beaver. Still not the biggest, but it's a good one. Now we're gonna head over to our 3rd trap, see what kind of luck we have over there. Okay, we got to set number 3. From what I can see, it doesn't look like we have anything. There's an awful lot of bubbles in there, but I'm gonna go ahead and bust the ice and see what we got. Never mind, feels like we got a beaver. Well, I shouldn't say beaver, could be something else. A large animal. Boy, this ice is tough. It's the worst part about 0-degree weather. And that is a very little beaver there. I would say there's for sure a whole family in here. We're going to reset the trap, put it back in there, and see what kind of luck we have tomorrow. We're going to set another 7 traps like I said earlier, and we'll see you then. Okay, well, we're back. We're going to go ahead and set all these traps. We got our beaver up to the side-by-side. I got Brady Sanker here. We all know him from his muskrat lines. We've started trapping beaver together this year. He's a hell of a trapper, taught me a lot of things. We're kind of learning as we go, but he's going to help me set this one, give me a hand. It's always nice to have 2 people on a water set. You're dealing with, it's 0 degrees right now, and water, and a trap that if you got yourself stuck in, there's no way you can get yourself out. We're back at this first run. It's deeper than what I thought yesterday. I take my safeties off. And now the trap's very dangerous. Okay, so you can see the run walls right here and here. and it's only about a foot deep. So our trap's going to be just right under the water. But our plan is to catch them in the next 30 minutes after we leave. So. Got that trap bedded in there really good. I'll take and put me 2 stakes through the springs. Show that in for me. That'll help hold the trap, so if he comes flying through here, it'll at least hold it up. Because these beaver don't just crawl through their den. They're coming through this water at good speed. Put another stick in the spring. And then stake my trap down. Most generally, you don't need to worry about staking it down. It'll kill him instant, but if you were to get one by the foot, something like that, he's going to fight for several hours until he drowns or pulls the trap loose. So that's that set. We're going to go across where we caught the second beaver this morning, reset it, move to the third, and then set a couple new sets. Okay, so this is set number 2. We had a pretty good beaver this morning in. Well, what we had is a log under the ice here, and the run goes right up under it right here. What we did earlier is had our first set up here. We're going to go ahead and set another trap there, but also block them off at this log because they're coming in and out of here. If we just had one at the log, they could come down this slide in the den. Or if we just have one here, they could come under this log and go out. So we're going to try and maybe double them, you know, get 2 in one set, but let's see what happens. I'm going to set the one up here in the den first, only so that way when I'm trying to set it, if there's one here, I don't get my leg in it. Sometimes you got to think smarter than the trap. My hands. I know you've heard us say it before, safeties are off. If they're not off, you won't catch anything. Since it's going to be so cold today, I'm trying to dig this bottom of this run out a little bit so this trap will at least be under 2 inches of ice. Because I know it'll freeze up today. Okay, I've got the trap set in there. I'm going to go ahead and stake it down. Well, that's it for today's show. I hope everybody enjoyed. We went out and checked the traps this morning. They were all empty. We ended up having 6 out. It was a pretty good day, though, to have, 100% the first day, 3 traps, 3 beaver. But right now, I'm flushing the beaver that we caught the day before. I'm going to get them put up on wood, and we hope to see you next time.